In this lecture, we will look at how to use the assignment module in Moodle for conducting asynchronous assessments, asynchronous submission based assessments. So, we will look at the two parts, how to set it up, how to create an assignment, and once we create the assignment, we will see how the students will submit it, and you as a teacher, how you will access it. Okay. So, first I am going to switch to the teachers interface. So, in the teachers interface we have now we have gone to the course. So, first you have to remember to turn editing on, and once let us go to the Moodle demo section. We already saw how to do quizzes in the previous lectures. So, I am going to click on add an activity. So, you click on activities and then you will see that the first one is called as an assignment. So, I am going to click on that. Okay. So, you give an assignment name to that. Okay. I will just say that homework number 1, and what you can do is you can give the description of the work of what they need to do, right, and then you can type it here, or you can also upload additional files for them. Okay. So, generally what one of the better things to do is you just say complete the attached homework. Okay. And we can drag and drop and upload the files here. Okay. Now, once we have done that, now this is even just like in quiz, here also you can set some timing aspects of it. Okay. So, what it says is allow submissions from what date to date. For example, if you are just doing it for self learning, you do not have to set any timings, exactly like in quiz. You just say that I am uploading this homework to you, you just do and submit it whenever you want. Okay. And alternatively, if you want to do a timed assignment, you can say that this assignment is available from this date until this date. So, by default it will set a 1 week deadline. So, it will say this is the due date. Okay. Now, there is also an additional setting called as cutoff date. Okay. The difference between due date and cutoff date is that cutoff date, if you set, now if I enable it and then I will say that cutoff date is, for example, so I will say cutoff date is 20th or whatever. So, I will set it as 12th as well. Okay. So, if I set the cutoff date as 19th, sorry. So, I will set it as 19th. Okay. I will say that, okay, let me just set it as 21st. Okay. So, if I set the cutoff date as 21st, what it means is that after 21st and whatever time this is, so let us set it as 23:59 midnight, close to midnight. So, after this time of 21st midnight, okay, the submission link will get disabled for the students. But after the due date also, the submission link will be active, except that when we look at the report of submissions, it will explicitly say that this particular student submitted late. Okay, because this setting may be useful where if you have a late submission policy, you say that okay, you submitted by this particular date, but in case you are delayed, there will be a 5% penalty for every 3 days and so on. If that is a kind of a policy that you have, by setting this cutoff date and due date as 2 different dates, you will be able to enforce that particular policy. Okay. So, yeah, so maybe we will just leave the settings at this one, and submission types is useful. There are 2 options that are available. You can have them type their responses just like they did in a quiz on the screen itself. Okay, or you can have them upload some files. Many times file submissions are useful. So, let us choose the file submission option, and then you can also configure how many files they can upload. Again, you can generally set it to 1 unless you are asking them to do a programming assignment with lots of files that will be there. Let us now choose only one file to be submitted, and you can also, to prevent people from uploading very large files and overloading a server, you can set some limit. So let us set a limit of 2 megabytes. Finally, you can also set what kind of submissions you can take. Suppose you want to allow only PDF extensions, you can just type PDF. If you want, you can even choose it from the list of options that are available. Okay, so I have explicitly just set PDF, and that is there. As always, Moodle is fantastic because there is always help available online. So even if you don't have to even come back to this particular video. Once you know that how to access it, you go inside. Even without accessing this particular video, you will have help readily available. So that's how good Moodle is, which is an open source learning management system. Okay, so these are the two. Because this is an offline synchronous activity, you will generally not do this in an examination setting. Okay, so just merely working with these two is all that will be needed. I will not go into the other settings that are here. The only other thing that you may want to look at is the grades. So by default it will be for 100 points. You want to make it for 20 marks, you can do that. And you can set the grading method and just do it. There are some advanced settings, like you can set up the gradings through rubrics. Again, you can just go through the help section there, how to set up rubrics for the assignment. You would have learnt so far how you can do that. So you can the grading method can be based on simple direct grading, or based on a rubric, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as simple direct grading for now, because of the extensive online help that is available right there. Setting it up for more advanced grading types should not be very difficult. Okay, so I'm going to just simply save and display. Okay, so now you can see that this is the assignment, and when you look at it, it will show up as homework number 1. Okay, so now I am going to switch to the student login. Okay, so the student login is right here. So I am going to go back to intra the 03, and we'll go to the course, and then you will see that the student's homework is now available. So I'll click on the student homework, and it says submission status is no attempt. So now if I want, I can add a submission. Okay, we'll add the submission, and it says that I can upload a file. Okay, so when I open the assignment, now I can select the file and upload it. So I'm going to add a new file. So I'll say upload a file, and I can choose the file from my desktop. I'll go to my desktop, and there is a demo.pdf. I'll say open and upload this file. Okay, so this is now available. I can just save changes and submit it. Okay, so this is not yet graded, so it is submission. If I want to modify my submission, then I can allow I can re-upload it and so on. Okay, and if I want to withdraw it, I can do that as a student. So let us now go back to the teacher's interface. So now if I click on the homework number 1, you will find that there is one submission that has happened and it needs grading. It will also show that there are 54 participants in this particular course, but there is only one student who has submitted, and what is the due date and so on. As more and more students submit it, then this number will keep going. Okay, and when you click on view submissions, the actual submission of the students can be accessed here. So this is the interface that it will say. So it will say that now this is the demo student here. I can click on this demo and I can view the submission. This is the submission that the student had given, whatever it is, some IP address screen and so on. So I can do, if I am satisfied with this particular submission, I can just close it, and I go back to the quiz, and then I can assign some marks to it. Okay, so that's the grade that has been given to the student, and I can just come back and that's about it, right? So I can just save all quick grading changes. So my grading is done. Alternatively, I can also download all the submissions as well. I will show you that too. Okay, so this is my, it is submitted for grading. So the grading, I can just say download all submissions as well. So all those PDFs, it will put it in a zip file and then you can grade it. You can look at it offline, then come back here and enter the grades. Okay, so this is how it is done. So finally, we will quickly look at the students interface. So once, if I just refresh this particular screen, it says it is graded, and whatever the grade is there, I can go into my grade book and look at the marks that have been awarded. So this is the assignment module that can be used for offline grading activities.